rise, please.
Get another napkin.
I don't know what I'm doing right now. I'm here.
Oh.
I'm here, Judge. I'm here, sir.
The people called Mark Pilbeam.
Mr. Pilbeam, if you could come right up here to the witness box. Please raise your right hand. You solemnly swear or affirm that you will honestly answer questions of you, so help you God.
I do.
Please be seated. Give me your proper first name and last name, spelling both.
Okay, Mark, M-A-R-K. Last name is Pilbeam, P-I-L-B-E-A-M.
Thank you.
Yep.
You may be seated.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're very welcome.
Good afternoon, sir. Where
Good
were
afternoon.
you living at in 2010?
Fayette, Ohio.
Where is that in relation to Morenci, Michigan?
Just south of Morenci.
Approximately how far?
A mile?
1 mile? Is that a yes?
Yes.
Okay. They're recording, so you have to say yes or no. You can't shake your head. You can't say mm-hmm.
Okay.
Thank you. During the 2000 time period, did you know John Skelton?
Yes.
Did you know Tanya Skelton at that time?
Yes.
How did you know them?
My ex-wife went to school with Tanya and grew up with her. And then when John and her got together, we knew them from church and, once in a while get together.
And what's your ex-wife's name?
Michelle?
Did you come to know Andrew, Alexander, and Tanner Skelton?
Yes.
Did there come a time where your family started doing more things together?
Yes.
Approximately when was that?
Yeah, I'm gonna say probably a year or two before, the boys went missing, so probably 2008.
You have to speak up.
Okay, sure, okay,
The microphones don't amplify, they merely record,
okay.
so unless you speak loudly,
Can't hear? Okay.
I'm getting old.
How would you describe the nature of your relationship with John Skelton at the time?
At the time of,
2008 when you first met him, 2009.
just got to know him, I'd say that, we weren't as close as we become later on in life, so,
So you said you did become closer later on.
yes.
Do you know when that was?
I'd say we become a lot closer when, after him and Tanya were having problems, he kind of leaned on me more than he had in the past.
Do you know when that was?
I'd say probably in the summer of 2010, we got to knowing each other more.
Were you aware of an incident where John Skelton took 2 of the boys to Florida?
Yes.
Did you become close with John before or after this incident, do you think?
Probably closer after, you know.
And did he begin reaching out to you?
Yes.
Do you know how often he would contact you?
You know, sometimes, you know, I think at one time it was up to about 10 times in a day I would hear from him.
And how would he communicate with you?
Text a lot, and occasional phone calls, but a lot of texting.
Did John Skelton ever tell you how he felt about the relationship he had with you?
Not in so many words, you know. I'd say that, you know, he just knew that, you know, I knew that he didn't have a lot of friends, and, you know, he was leaning more on me because of that.
So during the period of time where he's contacting you daily, what kind of things are you guys discussing?
You know, it was a lot about Tanya, and, you know, wondering about her and what she was doing, and what, you know, he wanted to know if I could help maybe smooth things over between the 2 of them.
Did you agree to do that?
You know, I told him that I'd do my best, but, you know, that's kind of hard under the circumstances. I felt that, you know, it's like, it was a difficult request.
Did John ever talk to you about any underground organizations during these phone conversations, or during these conversations during that time period?
No.
Did he talk to you during that time period about a Joanne Taylor?
He did talk about Joanne Taylor.
Okay. Was that before Thanksgiving of 2010 or after?
It was before.
He brought up Joanne Taylor before Thanksgiving of 2010?
Yeah.
Okay, and when did he talk about Joanne Taylor?
It was, I don't know, one of our conversations that we had, just that he had been talking to this lady, and, you know, he connected Tanya to her unbeknownst to her,
Okay.
and, you know, was having this lady talk to Tanya and asking her different questions, you know.
Did he indicate with you how this Joanne Taylor person was talking to Tanya?
Through, you know, a website called Cafe Mom.
And we're gonna come back to that in a little
Okay.
bit. During this September through Thanksgiving of 2010 period, does John talk to you about another woman from Florida?
No.
Does he ever discuss suicidal thoughts with you?
No.
Does he ever discuss homicidal thoughts to you?
No.
Does he ever talk to you about specifically what he could do if he had ever had to hide a body?
Yes.
Okay, and tell me about that conversation.
I don't know, it just came up one time when we were talking, and he said that, you know, the best place to hide bodies would, you know, if you never want to have somebody get found, you know, put them in a hog barn, and the hogs would eat them, which kind of was an off-the-wall conversation.
Did he say where that idea came from?
No.
Did he talk to you about working at any kind of hog farm or with pigs or anything like that?
Well, I knew where he worked at, so I knew they had, you know, hogs at the farm that he worked at, the Van Brandts,
Do you
or
know-
State Line Farm.
At State Line Farm?
Yes.
Okay. And is that the one there in Morenci?
Yes.
Had you ever been to State Line Farms?
I'd been there before.
Have you seen the hogs out there?
I seen the hog barns, I'd never been inside of them.
Did he give any further detail on how he would do that, accomplish that?
Didn't really specify, you know, just one of those things where I don't know how it ever came up, but we didn't really elaborate on details about it, so. I didn't really think anything about it, just, you know, we had conversations about a lot of things and it just didn't really give it a lot of thought, you know, at that point.
Did there come a time when the conversations with John Skelton kind of came to a lesser than 10 times a day?
Well, I had to tell him I had to tell him to kind of back off some because it was getting, you know, I had a job and it was getting kind of, it was always about the same thing, you know, a lot. And it was just getting tough to deal with it because, you know, it was always about Tanya, what she was doing and who she was with, and it was just an obsession and, you know, just got difficult to discuss after time.
Did John ever have a conversation with you about any custody issues?
Yeah, he did.
Would that be with Katie or with the boys?
Katie. Repeat the question?
I'll just rephrase it.
Okay, yeah.
Do you know who the custody issues, the conversations were about?
Just, you know, the kids, he felt that, you know, he didn't get enough time with the children.
And when you say the children, are you talking about Andrew, Alexander, and Tanner?
Yes.
Do you know if John had any other children at that time?
I wasn't aware of his other child, but,
Okay.
you know, later on, I did become to know about his daughter.
Did you have a conversation with John about his trip to Florida?
Yes.
And what did he tell you about why he left with the boys?
He, you know, John really wanted to move back to where he grew up in Florida, and he felt more comfortable there. He said that Tanya wasn't open to moving, and, you know, he kept pushing, and she didn't want to move, and, you know, one day he decided to take the two boys to Florida and pull them out of school. So.
Do you recall if he told you a different story in the beginning?
I'm not sure what you're referring to.
If I allow you to read your report, do you think that could help refresh your memory?
Sure.
Your Honor, may I approach the witness?
No objection.
May approach.
Do you want me to read it myself?
Read to
or-
yourself, I
Okay.
apologize.
Okay. Okay.
For the record, Your Honor, that's an FBI report dated November 27th, 2010.
And Your Honor, I reviewed and stipulated everything, so no issue from me.
Do you recall if John originally told you a different story about why he took the kids to Florida.
Yeah, I do recall. He did say he was taking them on a family vacation. And, you know, he hoped that by taking them down there, Tanya would have second thoughts about moving down there with him.
And did you question him further on that issue?
Yeah, I didn't really believe that that was the whole purpose of him going to Florida. And I just, kind of questioned why he did that back then.
And then what did he tell you after you questioned him again?
He just, John came back and said that, he, just felt that, Tanya needed to kind of, he was the provider and she needed to go with him, and, he was trying to do everything he could to convince her to do that, so.
So did you understand from that conversation that he thought it would kind of force her down to Florida?
Yes.
When discussing custody issues with you, what did John say about having the boys with him?
Well, he wanted, wanted the kids with him, and he told me that, if he couldn't have them with him, that Tanya wasn't going to have them either. So.
And that's between the November 25th stretch
Yes.
of 2010? Okay.
Yes.
Prior to Thanksgiving of 2010, did John ever tell you any concerns that he may have had regarding Tanya?
He had talked about her past, that he was concerned that she was doing things to the boys, which, I didn't agree with. I didn't buy into it, so.
Did he ever say there was an allegation from the boys of her doing anything?
No.
Is this the first time that you're hearing this from John?
Yes.
Did he say if he was going to do anything about that?
He didn't say he was, that he was going to do anything about it. I really didn't at the time understand what he was talking about, he didn't elaborate on what that meant. I guess I should have asked, but I didn't.
So I don't want to put words in your mouth. I just want to make sure I understand. He said that there was some fear that something might happen.
Well, his words were, if I can't have the kids, she's not going to have the kids either, which kind of went along with the story of taking them to Florida. But then the kids had to, came back, so, I didn't really think about too much about what he meant by that, at that time. It just, knowing John and, how he loved the kids, it didn't really even cross my mind.
During these conversations where he is saying to you that he's got a concern about Tanya and sexually abusing the boys, is he also telling you how he feels about Tanya?
Yes.
And how is he feeling about Tanya at this time still?
Well, he was still in love with her.
And did he express any intention to leave her because of this?
No. That was the hard problem is, if somebody was doing what John said was going on with his boys and then turn around and want to be with that person as much as he was obsessed with Tanya, it was hard to see both sides of it in that light, it just didn't make any sense. If somebody was harming my children, I wouldn't want to be with them.
Did you say that to him?
Yeah, I told him, I said, if somebody was doing that to my children, I wouldn't want to be with them. I don't understand why you're obsessed with this person if you truly believe that's what's going on with your children.
Do you recall what he said to you?
He just, he didn't really say a lot then, but, he just kept, after that, the obsession just continued on, so it just was hard to believe that he really felt that was going on when he's still in love with this lady,
Do you recall in relation to when Thanksgiving was, approximately when that conversation would have occurred?
I'm gonna say 2 or 3 weeks prior to that.
Did you talk to John after Thanksgiving of 2010?
No. Well, yes, sorry, yes. I did talk to him at the jail.
Okay, did you talk to him at any other location?
No.
Do you recall when you spoke with him at the jail?
It was usually on a Sunday. He put me on his visitor list, and I would go there Sunday afternoon.
How many times do you think you went to see him?
I'm gonna say 5, 6 times, I'm guessing.
What would you guys talk about?
A lot of it was what, Tanya was doing, and, was she with anybody, and it was just more about Tanya than, talking about the children or what happened to them.
Did you ask him during those visits where the children were?
Yes, and, he always, tried to change the subject and put it back on Tanya, so, after a point, I just stopped going to the jail because that's what he wanted to talk about all the time, and I just was like, I wanted to know where the children were.
When you said he kept talking about Tanya and bringing her up, are these conversations, what are these conversations about?
Just, whether she had a boyfriend, how she was doing, if she was seeing anybody, or, just more about asking questions about Tanya, what was going on in her life.
Is he still expressing that he loves her?
Yes.
Is he still expressing that he wants to be married to her?
Yes.
Did there come a conversation where he did express to you something that he did with the boys?
No.
Do you recall John talking to you about an organization while he was at the jail?
No, not at the jail.
Did he talk to you about an organization at all?
I don't recall.
And you did speak to the FBI back in 2010 and 2011, is that right?
Yeah, correct, yes.
Do you think reading your report might refresh your
Sure, yes.
recollection? Go ahead and read both pages to yourself.
Okay.
Your Honor, for the record, this is an FBI report, date transcribed January 10th, 2011, investigation January 9th, 2011.
And defense is in possession, has reviewed and stipulate the such.
Does that refresh your recollection a little bit?
Yeah, it does.
All right. So, during a visit with John Skelton at the jail, now when you say at the jail, do you recall what jail this was?
Lenawee County Jail.
Okay. Do you recall the date of the visit?
I don't recall the date.
Okay. If this report says Sunday, January 9th, 2011, would you have any reason to disbelieve that?
No.
Okay. So during this visit, does John have a conversation with you about an underground organization?
Yes.
And what does he tell you?
Just told me that, he had been talking to these people a month prior to giving the children to this group. And that Tanya had been interviewed unbeknownst to her, by the group. And he was just, felt that it was needed to do this to get the boys away from Tanya.
And earlier you testified that he had talked to you about Joanne Taylor, who was interviewing her on Cafe Mom. Is this the same conversation that you're talking about?
No, there was a prior conversation about that, prior to this happening.
Did John indicate to you whether he had notified anybody that he believed Tanya was hurting the boys?
Prior to this happening,
Correct.
he did not, that I recall.
Do you recall if John told you what day the organization picked up the boys?
It was the day before they were supposed to be picked up from Tanya, I believe.
Do you recall reading in your report that he indicated to you it was the Wednesday before Thanksgiving that the organization picked them up?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. Did John indicate to you what the organization was doing with the boys when they picked them up?
Yeah, I don't recall.
Did he indicate if they were bringing the boys back?
Yeah, they were supposed to be bringing them back.
Do you know when?
The next, that day in the afternoon, they were supposed to be bringing them back, if I recall.
Friday afternoon?
Yes,
The
the
26th of November?
26, yes.
Okay. Did John have a reaction to the boys not being returned at that time?
Yeah, he seemed pretty upset about it, that, the boys weren't returned when they were supposed to be.
Do you recall what he said to you about that?
He just felt that they had misled him, and he seemed to be very upset about it and sobbing about it.
Do you recall if John talked about any victims?
John felt he was the victim because, this group took the kids, longer than they were supposed to. And John wanted to have Tanya drop the charges against him so he could get out and help try to locate the kids.
Did John indicate that he wanted her to drop the charges so that he could also be there for her? Do you recall if that happened?
Yeah, he, wanted to be, to kind of be more connected to her so they could put their minds together and try to find the children.
Did John tell you he had any conversations with his parents about this organization prior to Thanksgiving 2010?
Yes.
Okay. And when did this conversation with John occur?
That, in that January timeframe that I visited him.
So at the Lenawee County Jail in
Yes.
January of 2011?
Yes.
Okay, and what did he tell you about the conversation he had with his parents?
You know, he said he had talked to them about prior to this happening, that, you know, he let them know what was going on with Tanya and why he had to do this, and, you know, let them know what was going on with the children.
And did he say how his parents reacted?
You know, they seemed to be okay with it because, you know, John convinced them that this was something that was needed to be done because of his fears of what he thought was going on with the boys.
I want to go back to the conversation you had regarding the hog barn. Do you recall when that conversation would have taken place in relation to Thanksgiving 2010?
Yeah, I'm gonna say a couple of months before that.
Okay. But it was still within that September, November 2010 timeframe?
Yeah.
Do you recall where you were at when that conversation occurred?
We were at my house, you know, just talking in general, and just something that came up.
Did John come over to your house very often?
Not a lot, but, you know, a lot of our conversations were on the phone, texting, you know, it was occasionally coming over, but
At the point in time where you told John that the calls were becoming too much and you kind of wanted to scale that back, did you give him any advice or tell him to do anything else?
well, I told him to, you know, talk to Donna Galloway, the pastor, and try to talk to her more, and, you know, maybe that would help what he was trying to accomplish with me, you know, getting, maybe, you know, that could help put their marriage back together if that's what the end goal was, but that
Do you
was
know, do you know if he ever sought counseling or
I-
guidance?
Yeah, he used to, you know, see Donna Galloway, he'd go in and see her quite often.
Did you have any conversations with John about where he might go or what he might do if he felt troubled?
He said he used to go to the Lost Nation, you know, occasionally, to get his mind back in the game. You know, he'd go out and visit Lost Nation sometimes.
Did he tell you how often he would go out to Lost Nations?
Not, you know, I don't recall a specific number of times, but, you know, traveling in his job, truck driving, you know, I think he would stop there on the way back or the way there just to kind of have a chance to think about things.
Did he have any conversations with you about his familiarity with Lost Nations?
He seemed to know the area quite well, you know, like where good places were to visit, to, you know, be alone.
Are you yourself familiar with the Lost Nations area?
Not a lot, you know, I know, yeah, I've been there a few times in my life, but not too often.
Do you know approximately how many acres Lost Nations is?
I do not.
Can you tell me a little bit about the landscape, the terrain?
Just, you know, a lot of wilderness, a lot of trees, you know, a lot of area where, you know, it's not really many people out there, so it's very uninhibited.
Are there bodies of water out there, to your knowledge?
Not to my knowledge, I don't know.
Did you have any conversations with John about the pending divorce and custody issues before the court and the attorneys that they had?
You know, we had some conversations, but I can't recall everything that we talked about back then.
Do you recall any conversations? Did he express any anger with an attorney?
Yes.
Okay, do you remember that conversation?
Just, I know John was frustrated because they weren't, you know, he wanted more custody time, and he did feel like he was getting what he wanted from the attorney back then.
Going back to November 26th of 2010, do you recall going to the hospital where John was at?
Yes.
Okay, and do you recall? Was it the 26th, that Friday, or would it have been a different date?
Could have been the 25th. I don't recall the exact date.
Okay,
But
it could have been, you're not sure of the exact date?
I'm not sure of the
Okay.
exact date.
Well, let me ask you this, who was at the hospital?
Who was there?
Yes,
So Donna Galloway and myself,
okay.
and the FBI, the agent that took us.
Do you know the FBI agent's name, do you recall?
I don't.
Anybody else there?
There was a lady that was kind of a psychologist type FBI agent that was there as well that I talked to.
Do you remember what hospital this was at?
I say St. Vincent's, but I can't remember if it was Toledo or St. V's. It's
Okay.
been too long ago.
Did you get the opportunity to speak with John during that time?
No.
Did you get the opportunity to see him during that time?
Yes.
Tell me how.
You know, they had us at the nurse's station, and John was in the room next door. So I got to see cameras with John in the bed at the hospital.
During that visit, did you observe Pastor Galloway go in and speak with John Skelton?
Yes.
After she spoke with him, do you recall what happened next?
Well, what happened next is we got in the FBI's vehicle and headed to Kunkel, Ohio, so
Okay. Where did you go in Kunkel?
to a school that John had, through the conversation he was having with Pastor Galloway, that he kind of remembered something about a school, and that led everybody to pack up and head to the school to see if what he was recalling was there or not, if the kids were there.
And is this something you're hearing directly from John, or is this something Pastor Galloway told you after she had spoken with him?
No, it was something I heard, while John was speaking to her.
This-
Pastor Galloway was trying to get the exact place that the children were located at, and she was talking to him, trying to press him for information, and this is what he recalled coming up with.
You say a schoolhouse in Kunkel. Was it an active schoolhouse?
No,
Okay, describe what this building is.
just a big block building. It was like an old schoolhouse that they hadn't used it in quite some time. I remember there was it's kind of like a taller middle part of the building with flatter classrooms on the sides, and
So it's you, Pastor Galloway, one FBI agent or two?
one.
And anybody else go with you guys?
Not directly in the vehicle that we were in, but there were other people that were in other vehicles that showed up at the same time.
Did you get out and were you involved in the search of that building?
No,
Did you ask to be a part of that?
no, I honestly, I didn't know why I ended up having to go there. To be honest with you, I didn't know what the purpose was. Seemed kind of odd. I really wanted to talk to John, and somehow I'm heading to Kunkel, Ohio for some reason, and didn't really have a choice.
Did you guys take the freeway there to Conkle?
Took the turnpike.
How fast are you going?
Oh, it was scary fast. It was probably 100 plus mile an hour. It was it was pretty scary to be on the turnpike at the speeds that we were traveling. So
Okay. To your knowledge, did the FBI find anything in that building?
no.
What did you do after Conkle?
After we left there, I recall going to a diner and meeting up with Chief Weeks. Don Thompson was there, and we met up at some diner close by. I don't remember the exact diner, but it wasn't too far from the school.
Are you familiar with the Pioneer, Ohio area?
Yes,
And is that where, have you been out there camping before?
yes,
Did you go with John Skelton at any point in time?
yes.
Who all went on that camping trip?
You know, my ex-wife and 2 children, and then John and Tanya and the 3 boys. Tanya's 2 daughters, and then her family.
Is
You
this
know,
the-
her parents and sisters and brother-in-laws. And
Is this the first time you'd been out to Pioneer camping, or had you been out there before?
that was the first time that we went out there.
Have you been out there since?
I'd went camping there once after that.
So this campground in Pioneer, do you recall what it's called?
Funny Farm Campground.
How big is this campground?
It's not, it's not a real huge campground. I'd say smaller than a lot of campgrounds. I don't think it has a lot of campsites, maybe 50, 100. I don't recall the exact number, but
Tell me about the area surrounding the Pioneer, Ohio.
the
The
campground
landscape, the
or
whole
just-
area around Pioneer, Ohio.
It's more, Pioneer's a small little town. There's a lot of a lot of companies there, a lot of factories. But it's a small rural community. And, Funny Farm it's kind of tucked away on a dirt road. Not something that most people would know about. And place had a pond. We were close to the pond when we camped there.
Do you recall if there were, if the Funny Farm was set back far enough away from other homes and stuff like that?
Yeah, there was there wasn't really any homes close by. I'd say wasn't a lot of homes in that area. Just it was more of a farm type setting.
Nothing further.
Ross?
Thank you. Good afternoon, sir. How are you?
Good. How are you?
So were you and John relatively close then? Because it sounds like you went to the jail and the hospital to see him.
Yes.
I'd like to start talking about the hospital visit. Do you remember that?
Yes.
All right. And is it true that it was you, the pastor, and an FBI agent?
Yes.
Okay. And you mentioned, correct me if I'm wrong, sir, that the pastor was pressing John?
She was trying to get information about where the children were.
Okay.
So she was trying to get information out of him. That was you know, that was our purpose of going, so.
Oh, so you also wanted information that day?
Was I wanting that? Yeah, I wanted to know where the boys were as well, so our goal was to try to help, you know, hopefully talk John into telling us where these children were at.
And did you or the pastor talk to the FBI before that meeting?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And did the FBI instruct you what to do?
No,
What was the conversation with the FBI before you went to the hospital that day, if you remember?
you know, they really didn't give us an agenda, what we needed to do. It was just, they wanted us to be there to try to, because we were close to John, that hopefully we would be able to get some closure on what happened to the children.
So would it be fair to say, based upon what you're telling us, that the FBI wanted you and the pastor to assist in finding out information from John?
Yes.
And what was John's physical condition when this was going on? Was he able to leave, able to walk around?
No, he broke his ankle.
Right. So is it fair to say that he is immobile and being questioned by the pastor with the FBI present?
Yes.
Thank you. Now, let's talk about this school in Ohio, the Kunkel School. Yeah. Now, you said you didn't really want to go to that, correct?
Yeah, I didn't know, you know, I didn't know the purpose of the visit other than to go confirm what John had come up with Pastor Donna. I wanted to talk to John. I would rather have done that than head out to a school.
Okay. How far was the school from the hospital? Any idea?
I'm going to say 40 minutes, 50 minutes, but by FBI car, maybe 20 minutes.
Gotcha. It was going pretty fast.
It was going pretty fast.
And to be clear, the school was not in Michigan?
No, it was in Ohio.
Okay. Now, did you hear what John told the pastor about this school in Ohio?
Yeah, I heard, you know, that he was trying to recollect what, you know, some information about the kids, where they might be, and
Remember specifically what was said? I know it's been a long time.
yeah. You know, it's been a long time, but yeah, I think it was just where this group may have put the children at.
Okay.
It was, you know, trying to recollect his conversations with this group and where the children may be located, since they didn't get brought back on time, so.
Okay, now, correct me if I'm wrong, you were not involved in the search, is that true?
I was not.
So,
Don and I sat in the car for the, you know,
who was involved in the search? Was it just the one FBI agent? Was there a team of officers?
there was a team of officers. I know that the Morenci Police, Don Thompson, I believe, went out there, and I think Chief Weeks was out there as well, but there were several police, police. So I don't know if all of them were FBI or what they were, but there were a lot of people out there searching.
Do you remember, to the best of your knowledge, how long did the search go on?
I don't know, maybe a half hour to an hour.
Okay, and was it still daylight?
It was dark.
It was dark.
It was dark.
I'm assuming, were there flashlights? Were there dogs? Canine dogs?
Yes.
Okay. And did the FBI or anybody share the results of the search?
Yeah, they just said nothing was found, so.
Now, you mentioned this hog barn. Can you explain what was discussed about a hog barn?
We were just carrying on a conversation, and just out of the blue, John had said something about, like, if you ever, because him and I shared a lot of thoughts, we discussed a lot of things when we get together, and just out of the blue, he said, if you ever had to get rid of somebody, hog barns, or, hogs, eat the body and just there's nothing left, there's no evidence. It's like, no, I didn't know that, you know, just, but I didn't really elaborate why he's giving me that information. But,
Do you ever share anything about how hogs don't eat teeth? Did we get that specific about anything?
we didn't get that specific.
Okay. Tell me about, and I'm getting this wrong, sorry, Los Nations?
Lost Nation.
Lost Nations. What is that exactly?
It's just you know, it's an area where it's kind of a preserve, just a lot of trees, a lot of wilderness. You know, nobody really built on it. It's just it's more of a nature area that, you know, somebody could go out and walk through the woods and, you know, they're not gonna build houses, or it's up in the Hillsdale County area.
Was it a place that you and John would hang out together or just discuss?
We just discussed it. I never, you know, went there with John to Lost Nation.
And would it be fair to say you really don't know a ton about the dynamics of the area?
No.
Okay. How about Funny Farm? What is that exactly?
It's a campground for, you know, RV campground.
Did you guys hang out there at all?
We did one time.
Okay. Was that something like you planned, or was it just a spur of the moment trip? And what is Funny Farm campground? Like, do you know how big it is or anything?
You know, I'm gonna say 50 to 100 campsites. You know, my ex-wife and Tanya and her family planned over Memorial Day weekend, you know, a trip out there.
Did you guys do couples groups together when you were both married?
Occasionally,
Okay.
you know,
Like dinners, movies, anything like that?
not really dinners or movies. You know, we would do things at the church. You know, occasionally get together, but not, you know, not a lot as a group.
And was Pastor Galway your pastor as well, all in the same church?
Yes,
Okay. Did John attend regularly, do you know?
yes,
Okay. So he was a member of the church?
yes.
Tell me about his conversations about his children. You mentioned custody. Did he seem concerned he wasn't seeing them enough?
Yes,
Did he want to see them more?
yes,
Did you ever see John do anything harmful to his children?
no,
Did he ever badmouth his children?
no,
Did he seem frustrated he didn't get to see his children enough?
yes.
From your point of view, did he truly love his children?
Yeah, he loved his children.
Tell me about this underground, is it sanctuary? Underground group, I believe the prosecutor mentioned?
Yes.
Okay. When did that first come to your attention?
You know, probably within a month before the children went missing, you know,
Okay.
somewhere in that October to November timeframe.
And correct me if I'm wrong, sir, but you also mentioned this happened at a jail visit that came up in conversation?
Yes, yeah,
Right.
it happened again.
Now, the jail conversation, do you know if that was a video recording or was
Oh,
it just?
No, it was a video recording.
It was a video recording of
Yes.
that. Okay. Let's go back to a month before these allegations. Do you remember what John told you about the underground sanctuary?
Just that, you know, John had been talking to this group. He had come in contact with them on one of his trips to Holland, Michigan, and was having conversations with him about his situation, and, you know, they were having conversations with Tanya, unbeknownst to her, you know, over the internet through Cafe Mom.
Now, so is it true that the underground sanctuary was talking to Tanya on Cafe Mom?
Yes,
And he shared that with you maybe in October 2010, would that be fair?
could have been October or November, I don't know the exact
Gotcha.
date.
What is the significance of the name Joanne Taylor?
That was the person that, you know, he was communicating to, and she was communicating to Tanya.
So was Joanne Taylor a member of the underground sanctuary to your knowledge?
I assume, you know, yes, that she was a member of that group.
And Joanne Taylor allegedly is the one who was reaching out to Tanya on Cafe Mom.
Correct.
Did you ever meet Joanne Taylor?
No,
How often did John bring her up? If you know.
I'd say maybe a couple, 2 or 3 times, I don't know, just,
Did you get to know John pretty well?
yes.
When he spoke of Joanne Taylor, what was your impression? Was that a true person in your mind?
Objection calls for speculation, Your Honor.
Sorry, what's it? Okay. You mentioned that John became a little too much talking about Tanya, is that correct?
Yes.
You explain that to the court?
Just, you know, John was obsessed with Tanya. You know, he loved her and wanted her back. You know, I truly believe he wanted his family back at that time, you know, back to the way it was. But Tanya wasn't having any part of it, and, you know, he didn't know how to change that.
And how does Florida play a role in all this, if you can help me with that?
Well, John, you know, that was where he came from, was Florida. That was where his parents were at and his sister was at. I feel that John felt more comfortable in Florida than he was in Morenci, so,
Did he express to you he wanted to move back to Florida?
yes,
Did he express to you that he wanted Tanya and his family to go to Florida?
yes.
So, based on your communications, would it appear that John thought Florida would be a fresh start for the family?
Yes.
Did anything about the Florida situation, your conversations, seem harmful to the family?
Objection, relevance.
Judge, I think the whole thing is cross-examination. They made a huge issue about Florida. I'm entitled to review that.
I will allow it to some extent.
Thank you. So again, for Florida, based on your conversations with my client, did it appear he thought anything harmful would be part of Florida, or do you think it was a fresh start?
I felt it was a fresh start.
The risk of being repetitive, based on your relationship with John, was there any doubt in your mind that he loved Tanya and his children?
No.
Thank you. Nothing further.
Agree with that?
All right, you talked about John talking about Joanne Taylor a number of times to you, is that correct?
Yes.
And your testimony today was that that was before Thanksgiving of 2010?
The one time.
Okay. And you read, did you read your entire FBI report that I handed you? I apologize.
Yes.
Your Honor, may I approach the witness?
Any objection?
No.
This?
Yes. And that was an FBI report dated November 27th, 2010. Do you recall speaking to the FBI
Yes.
then? And did you tell them that Skelton had never mentioned the names Mark or Joanne Taylor?
That's what it says in the report, yes.
And do you recall saying that?
I recall, you know, it's been 16 years ago, so sometimes things get mixed in, you know, the time frame where they really happened, but I assume that that's correct.
You indicated that you knew John Skelton pretty well, correct?
Yeah,
Would you consider him your best friend in 2010?
I would say that he was a good friend, but I wouldn't say he's my best friend.
Do you know if he ever conveyed that he felt like you were his best friend?
Yes,
Did he talk to you about feeling like you were a brother to him?
I don't recall that.
So during this conversation when John comes to you and says that he has some concerns about Tanya harming the boys sexually, okay? I wanna talk about that. And I believe you testified, you told him that didn't really make sense, that he still loved her and wanted to be with her after that, is that correct?
Correct.
Did you have a conversation with him about calling the police?
Yes.
Okay, and who did you tell him to contact?
Well, I told him, you know, that he should contact the local police department if he felt that strongly that something was going on with his children. You know, I asked him why he didn't do that sooner, if that was what was bothering him.
Okay,
But, you know, I feel John also, having those feelings, he also really loved Tanya, so, you know, he was struggling at that time to try to do both things, you know, still love her and then get her in trouble because he's having these feelings, so.
and so again, before Thanksgiving of 2010, is he telling you that he thinks that something might happen?
He didn't tell me in specific words that something might happen, but, you know, he did say that if he's gonna lose his children, that if he couldn't have them, that Tanya wasn't gonna have them either, so.
Mr. Amadeo asked you if John told you about this Joanne Taylor and communicating over Cafe Mom, correct?
Yes,
And you have never met Joanne Taylor, correct?
correct,
And have you ever communicated with Joanne Taylor over any means?
no,
And do you know that Joanne Taylor identity was created at John Skelton's residence?
yes,
Okay. And do you know that the email associated with Joanne Taylor came back to John Skelton?
yes,
And have you ever had a phone conversation with this Joanne Taylor?
no.
When did you learn that those items came back to John Skelton?
Through some of the conversations I had with, Chief Weeks and the Morenci Police Department.
Up until that time, had John had a conversation with you about, before Thanksgiving of 2010, did John have a conversation with you about these people, Joanne Taylor, or this underground community coming to his house?
Yes,
Okay, and what did he say about them coming to his house?
that they were, you know, gonna pick the boys up and protect them from Tanya.
And did you ever report that to anybody?
No,
Okay, not back in 2010 when you were asked by the FBI?
did I report it after it happened?
After the boys went missing in 2010, did you report to the FBI that John had told you this prior to that time?
I don't recall if I,
Okay.
that time.
In fact, the report says you had never heard of Joanne Taylor or this organization, correct?
Yes,
Mr. Amadeo asked you about John Skelton hurting the boys. Do you recall the questions along those lines?
yes.
To the best of your knowledge, who was the last person to have those boys?
John,
Skelton?
yes, John Skelton,
The John Skelton that you've been talking about today, is he in this courtroom?
yes,
And can you point to him and identify him for the court?
yes, right there,
In the orange?
in the orange.
I'd ask the record to reflect he's identified the defendant.
So stipulated for prelim purposes.
When was the last time you saw Andrew Alexander and Tanner Skelton?
About a week before they went missing.
Okay. So November 2010?
Yeah,
So to the best of your knowledge, John Skelton had them for Thanksgiving holiday in 2010, and you have never seen them since.
correct.
During this period of time, is John having conversations with you about his employment?
We were talking about, I think, John had lost his job, if I recall, but it's been too long ago that,
Okay. Was that one of the reasons he wanted to move to Florida?
I believe so, just to get a fresh start and get things going down there.
So you believe he indicated to you that he had actually lost his job?
That's what I recall.
Nothing further.
Do you remember if John was excited to see his children for the holiday, Thanksgiving?
We did really talk about him seeing the children at Thanksgiving. Prior to that, the children were at my house. We were having a party, and the kids, and John came to the party for my daughter's birthday.
And you would not intentionally lie to the police, correct?
No.
Would it be fair to say that 16 years ago there's things that could be forgotten?
Yeah, there's things that could be forgotten, yeah.
Based on your experience with John Skelton, did you ever see any reason why he'd want to hurt his children?
No.
Objection. Go ahead. Was there any answers?
It's pure cross-examination based on what was opened up, Judge.
Well, that doesn't call for speculation, I don't know what does. But it's been asked, it's been answered, it's on the record.
I have nothing further.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Maybe you can be excused if you.
No objection.
What, one more? So you've just testified that you didn't think John would hurt his boys in 2010, correct?
Correct.
But just to be clear, he did make the statement to you, if he can't have the boys, Tanya will not have them.
He did make that statement, yes.
Okay. Nothing further.
Can he be excused?
No objection, Judge.
Yes.
You may sit down and welcome to stand.
Okay, thank you.
We're gonna take our action.
All right, please. they like the notes that are gonna be there for them.
Yeah, so you can do that.
Okay.
And you can edit whenever you want. And you'll do that. If you wanna do that.
Thank you.
Yeah, and you
I appreciate that.
Yeah, easy business. Easy enough.
I can't get the secret Wi-Fi. None of these.
That's, I was talking about like how old they are, so I got this thing now because I got it manual, because if I wanna utilize it for other things.
Tomorrow we'll have a whole set of clothes.
I would think it would just, this is the gas, this would be probably. Right, I'm saying, everything there's the same, but you're saying.
Get some more bags for.
There's a Georgetown like that, we did math elections. I was in high school when that happened, and I was like, no. That might be good.
I wonder if I hit that when I was.
I'm just like, I'm waiting for that, I'm waiting for that horrible day when I get that notice, I'm just, this is not gonna be a good day. Well, I'm saying it, because he's, it's good to make us baseball too. I got a strong World War II out of that. Not good. That was actually, no, it's in white. That was actually, that would be this one. Produced by, so the notebook was like a producer on it, he knows the lag, he didn't write it. And I think one guy got mad by that because he wrote.
There you go.
Something
I
you're
had
here
an
for.
e-bike and ended up with the same color as the Winnebago, and brown. I had on the back, I had a license plate that said Eagle One, and on the side it says Spaceball.
I don't know. Could be that.
If you get upstairs, that's.
Yeah. What time we get that meeting back? What time we get the meeting back?
That's why I was trying to just.
I hope you made it.
I think it comes.
Somehow.
Got that. What she does. Yeah, so you just sell all that.
I call him Coker.
She just falls apart.
So, you know what this Wi-Fi network is? Give me a password.
I'm listening, I can hear Bible study.
Yes. See, you were doing so well with your IT stuff. And then this happened. And then this happened.
Your Honor, at this time, Mr. Amadeo and I have stipulated to Exhibit 65, which is not on the list, it needs to be added. That would be John Skelton's interview of January 17th, 2011, so we're just going to go ahead and play that for,
I have that date in.
yes, January 17th, 2011.
And I have reviewed, Judge, and I do stipulate.
Thank you.
So by way of background for the court, stipulate, or not, by foundation, you're gonna see a video that occurred at the Adrian Police Department. You're gonna see in that video Mr. Skelton, his then attorney John Glazier. You're gonna see FBI agent Sue Lucas in a yellow outfit, yellow coat. And you're gonna see Michigan State Police Detective Cindy Gokenauer, who will be sitting next to, and I have no idea how to spell Gokenauer, Krista, I'm sorry, next to Sue in the interview process. You'll also briefly see Mr. Skelton's parents.
And Your Honor, just to cover all bases here, I do understand some witnesses will not be called in lieu of this video. Is that an accurate statement?
Yes, Sue Lucas in particular will not be needed.
Right. And that's,
She's out of the country next week, so this is why we're doing it this way.
and even though I won't be cross-examining based upon the video, it will be valuable discovery, and I have agreed to such.
Kind of on that same topic, we are looking going forward at where we might end up on Thursday of this week. And again, where we might end up the following week. We've been doing really well at getting started in a timely fashion. And I have to commend my staff on that because, and all the other attorneys have been very, very helpful, getting things ready to go and getting them done. But if need be, the first 2 weeks in September are traditionally jury trial weeks. And if it comes to that, we will transfer any jury trials from this court to Judge Morgan's court to be tried. And that's as much for you as it is for anybody, because that's gonna make a difference with your employees. So that we can have dates in the early part of, the only date we wouldn't have would be Monday, the 7th, because we have things already in that slot, that would go the rest of the day, so that would probably put us 8th, 9th, 10th, if that's necessary, so that you're all advised.
Thank you, Your Honor. We'll keep an eye on it. We are trying to move right along so that we can
Well,
get done in our time frame. But
exactly.
understood.
And I don't want anybody to feel like they can't do what they need to do, and we will make all the necessary accommodations so that both sides have plenty of time to ask all the questions they need to ask. Today I'm having a difficult time, as are both of my staff people, we don't usually sit this long. And we don't even get to stand up to ask questions, so if I in fact stand up periodically, it's because my back is killing me. People are gonna kill me. You know, you're just an old person.
And
So,
Judge, I hope we're done by the 4th. I
old
hope-
meaning metaphoric? No, that's old in reality.
No. I said, I'm hoping we're done by September 4th, but God forbid if we're not, I'm definitely going to need help calling them other counties. I had to move a lot for these 2 weeks, and
And I do appreciate that, and, you know, we had a little discussion about that earlier this, in this process. We will do whatever we can, counsel.
Thank you,
to
Judge.
accommodate and work around those things, because I know you know, take 2 weeks out of your schedule is always difficult.
Yeah.
And showing up in court is how you make your living, so, I will do whatever the court can to eliminate problems for you.
thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. And we're gonna go to the movies?
I think so.
Unless it creates a problem for the cameras.
For mine? For mine?
Yeah, not too much. All right, so that's clearly your chair.
We need some more chairs.
Stop, Sam. Take a sit.
Ready?
Hey, sweetheart.
Oh, you can take it.
I'll put it on my desk so we can close the door.
You can probably get another chair.
Sorry, but I'll do it.
Sure, we're gonna take your questions. You said.
You sure? Yes. All right, well, thank you. Can I give him a hug? You can give him a hug. Something right, I'm gonna have a hug. Good. Well, just so you know, my name is Sue Luca. I'm with the FBI. And I'm here really because your dad has requested that we come and talk to you about all the things that have been going on. And we're real interested in hearing everything that you have to say. You know, about everything, about the system, about the kids, about Tanya, about all of it. What we're going to start with is just where the kids are and how to find the kids for right now. You know, that's step one. So what we wanted to make sure that we all understood, and this is being recorded, is that there's a system in place. You know, we find the kids, we take them into protective custody. No one has custody of the kids. It's not Tanya, it's not you. It's us, law enforcement, Cindy Bokenauer from Michigan State Police. We work together on this. And what'll happen is we take the kids into protective custody. We have a child forensic interviewer. Her name is Katie Connell. She's done 3,500 interviews of kids who were sexually abused or accused of being involved in some kind of sexual abuse. And she's talked to kids as young as 2 years old, as old as 16, 17 years old. And she's good. She's the best in the country. And that's what we'd like to do. Be able to find your kids and actually have a productive conversation so that we can get to step 2. Does that sound good? We ready to talk?
Yeah. I don't know where the kids are right now.
Okay, well, we can get into that. What I'd like to do is send your folks back out to the lobby, and so we can really sit down and go over, you know, timeline and make sure that you understand your rights and you don't have to talk to them. Tell them. And we'll talk again.
Just a couple of things that I wanted to say too. And John, you know, I've told you, you've always said, well, there's certain things that gotta happen. Like, they can't be with their mother. I've told you that nobody can guarantee that. If they came and interviewed the kids and they didn't think there was abuse, they can very likely end up back with her. You know, there's no guarantee to that. You said things like, well, you know, people can't be prosecuted. There's certainly no guarantee on that. You know, if they find the people who did this, or if they thought there was things with you that obviously they could prosecute. They're not going to make any of those kind of promises.
I can tell you that Tanya is willing to submit to paperwork signing over the kids into foster care while this is being worked out. So she's not, you know, dead set on sticking it to your taking the kids or doing anything like that. She's very amenable to this process too, and has agreed to let the kids go into third-party custody while the issues are being worked out.
And the only other thing I've told you that has got to be clear is, you know, at some point, if these kids don't turn up, I mean, they're really looking at you probably at some point to try to charge you with murder. I've told you that. And probably the worst thing you can do is talk to the FBI or the police or things about that, because that's how they would build a case, but you still want to go ahead and do this. This is what you told me. Is that right?
I was under the impression, and I was told they were going to be dropped off at 10, so that's 3 o'clock.
But I'm just saying, understanding that, you know, you have to keep in mind that this is the FBI, they're law enforcement, and somewhere along the line, Ray or the county prosecutor, they're going to try to charge you with murder. It's probably not a good thing to keep talking to people and coming up with different stories that vary. That's how they build their case. But you've told me that you do want to talk to them and get this thing started and try to find the kids, even though that may not be in your best interest, you understand? You want to talk?
I guess that what you both told me in there.
All right, that's fine. This one.
And we'll talk to you again before
And
we're done.
during the process of St. John,
He can stop them at any time, and he can ask to talk to me alone and things of that.
if you can identify an organization they might be attached to or anything like that, if you could be party into that. With my resources to help get this thing solved.
All right.
And I ain't scared of prosecution.
All right?
You're scared of me.
I'm
reason to be.
I'm scared of her. I'm always scared of you.
I've worked with them many times.
No, if anybody,
Clean conscience.
if anybody can find them, you know, it's not gonna be a private detective or anything like that. And the FBI's got the resources to,
They got them.
yeah. This is the best way to go if this is what you want to do. All right, I think we're set.
Okay. Do you want to put it back out,
Yeah.
lobby?
Is there any chance to give them at least 1 hour if I have to rest? It'll help. I mean,
Do you have some forms
Sorry.
right now? Don't need any right now. If it comes to it, we can,
Okay.
he's upstairs, but we'll let you have it. Yeah, we won't make you go through any kind of acrobatics design or anything.
Well, I'm talking about help for, you know, like making you in charge of it.
Yeah, yeah, and we'll
Or at least you guys, you guys go ahead and do it.
Just in case we want to write some stuff down, because I've got, some stuff I want to show you, maybe you can.
I forgot, you didn't get his phone, did you?
I didn't bring his phone, no, but I've gone all the way through it, and I'm well aware of it. I didn't bring his phone, so.
He said she wants him.
Yeah.
It's up to you guys.
No, left him good. Good job, left him around.
Then it's the society, so as long as you guys feel comfortable, that's fine.
There's 3 of us.
We can all hide over here. Alrighty. Did you want to start just with some basic, right?
Yep, I can do that. John, we have to read these to you. Okay, it's standard when someone is in custody. Okay, I don't know if you've heard them before, but I'm gonna read them, okay? You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to talk to a lawyer and have him present, which you haven't here. While the questions are going on, if you cannot afford a lawyer, one will be appointed to represent you at county expense for any question if you wish. If you give up your right to remain silent and later wish to stop answering questions, no further questions will be asked. You understand each of these rights? Okay. Having these rights read to you, you wish to talk to us now? Yes?
Yes.
This, like we said, this is being recorded. It's for your safety and for ours, and
Try to say yes or no, don't just shake your head.
Okay.
So,
Okay, one of the things that we'd like to talk to you about is just sort of timelines of events that occurred, you know, because from talking to other people, it's hard to get the same story every time about contacts that you've had and the activities that happened. So I think we'll, go ahead.
Now we're starting from the boys, the people I contacted, what did I start?
Well, let's start with when
what-
did you first communicate with the organization?
The exact time, date would be in my blog books, that I took. I think those are in my house. But I went to Holland,
Michigan?
Michigan, yeah. Dropped off the road, everything. I'm trying to remember the date, but that's documented in my work.
It's all relatively recent. We don't want to go back too far.
Well, yeah, it's recent. last day of work was like November 1st.
Okay, so we're in the month of November.
Yeah, well, actually, that was the last time that I worked, so we're talking end of September to October.
Okay.
Area, somewhere right around there. Because it was one of the last, few trips that I made.
Okay. Try to work on for a November timeline. I have a blank calendar in November. What I'd like to try to figure out is when were you in contact with anyone in this organization? And by the organization, do we mean Joanne Taylor, or do we mean the organization? Are they one and the same?
Well, I met a guy named Virgil at truck stop.
Mhm.
You know, strangers, you just talk, you know. It's easy enough to talk to people that you ain't gonna see again, you know. But I told him what was going on. I worried about Tanya.
And this was in October.
Late September, October.
And this was at a truck stop?
Yeah, JD it was stopping there at Niles. That's why I did my load up in Holland. I went down, down 31 over in Niles, yeah. I think it's Niles. 31 and 12. There's the JD's truck stop, I think it is. It's just north of South Bend.
All right, so you meet this guy, you told me about concerns about your kids.
Yeah, I was just telling him, you know, like, I was afraid that, you know, Tanya was gonna, you know, take the kids and stuff like that. And she was a sex offender and all this other good stuff. And he said, well, give me your address and I'll get you in contact with somebody that might be able to help you. And that was the first time
Okay.
I met them.
All right, then what happened?
And then I had a couple more, well, a few days after that, when I got home, there was a package in my mailbox. I told you this thing. It was a big manila envelope. It was it's a big one. There was a bunch of papers, business card, and a phone.
Postage?
No postage. So, opened it up, and read all this stuff.
Where are those papers and business cards now?
They took some of them, and I burned some of them in the chimney in the back of my house.
Because one of the things that we're trying to do as we go through this timeline is find any piece of information that another person can corroborate, or a piece of paper, or a phone call, or even or something. So,
I checked the chimney, and I burned stuff. There was more than one telephone. I would switch phones just in case cell phone, you know, tower.
did you do any checking into the organization, any references, any?
No. I said I had a couple interviews. I met them in Angola.
But how did you know they weren't just random crazy people who wanted to take your children?
Because Virgil was, the only thing I could call him as a transporter for the Amish. I had a 15-person band. I've seen him around all the time.
All right, so you get the tax on the email box.
Yeah.
What do you do with the phone? What does the banker say?
I called the phone. There was only one number programmed into it.
Okay.
Contact.
What was the number?
I
Was it a local number, or was there an area code attached to it? meeting, no one else heard the phone call, no one else saw the phone,
Because you didn't find it.
but no one else, no one saw that phone in your house. The kids never saw the phone.
Yeah, the kids did. Yeah, the kids, they came over to my house. You know, this is at the very beginning, just.
We'd like to get forward to that. So they call you, you talk, they call you, talk. When did they come visit you the
Yes.
first time?
First time they come visit me.
Before we get to that, can I just ask a question? You said that you, when you talked to me, this is before they came to your house, I assume, you did meet him at a Subway in Angola?
Yeah.
And you don't know that that's the second or the third time?
Yeah, I can't remember if that was, you know, if that was the first meeting that I went to,
Right.
or the one in Jackson at the Chevron station was by the president of.
The one in Angola, you met with Virgil and somebody else.
Yeah, Joanne.
And that was that's the first time you met Joanne? You did that?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. And now, did you go inside the Subway in Angola?
At one point I did, yeah, used the bathroom there.
Right. Do you remember whether Virgil and Joanne Taylor were in there?
I don't know. Was it, you know, was the thing that they just didn't.
Do you have reason to believe that Virgil or Joanne Taylor are their real names?
I don't think Joanne, still, because the business card that I had the name Judy on it.
So Joanne Taylor, in your estimation, is a minimum.
Virgil could be his name. But I also called.
Joanne Taylor's card also says Judy.
Yeah, yeah, it on the back of it, just his name was Judy.
The other thing was, you said you did go to a Chevron and met Joanne and Virgil there too, is that
Yeah,
right?
that was it. I went in there,
And you remember if they went inside there?
I don't know, our meeting took place across the street, there's a lot right there, but it's
Across from the Chevron?
yeah,
Uh-huh.
a kitty corner to it, there's a lot there, big trucks.
Yeah, you said there's a Pacific Pride or something?
Yeah, Pacific Pride fuel stations, right there at the Chevron.
That's on 127 here in Michigan.
Yeah.
Okay. I just want,
Yeah, no,
those are before you ever met any of these people at your house, those two meetings?
Yeah, those meetings took place before they came.
Sometime in October-ish.
Yes, between October 21st, 22nd, and, I'm trying to remember the first time.
All right, and you don't remember which one was first, whether it was Angola or whether it was, okay.
No,
Sorry,
That's perfectly okay.
Right.
I'm kidding.
Right.
Okay, so Joanne, Judy, and Virgil, did they then meet you at your house? When was that?
Sometime first, second, year. It was a week in November.
I wrote that for you. You can write
I
on
didn't
that.
have the voice. I did not have the voice. What is, what's this?
That's Thanksgiving, right here.
Right here. Okay.
This is the last day of work.
Yeah, yeah.
So did you meet with before your last day of work or after your last day of work?
No, it was after. It was after. That's where they came, they came to my house and then.
So both of them came?
Yes.
Did Joanne, Judy have any family members?
Not during these first 2 weeks.
Okay.
During our.
All right, sometime November 2, 3, 4-ish, they were at your house?
I'm trying to go back in my head here.
We can bang that up later, but sometime in the first week in November.
Yeah. I know it was a day that I did not have the kids. I did not have the kids. I'm thinking it was like the second.
Okay, so they came to visit at your house?
Yes.
All right, did anybody else see them? Did they come in one car? Did they come in 2 cars? Okay.
second meeting,
Do you know where they were coming from? Where did they live?
Lenawee Jackson area. And that's where, on our other meeting, 2 other people came. Elijah and Sue came to the next meeting.
What's that?
On maybe the 10th, I had the boys in.
November 10th.
10th, yeah, 10th.
And the kids were there.
Yes. 10th, 11th.
Anybody else?
Um,
So it was Joanne, Judy,
yeah, Joanne, Virgil, Elijah, Sue, me, and the boys.
When you keep saying Judy,
Joanne, Judy, I think it's the same entity, right?
I don't think if he knows the woman, tell her about the card.
Well, yeah, like on the business card, I mean, all it said, it said, United Foster Outreach, and, underground sanctuaries. On the back of it was just handwritten, Judy.
So did she ever tell you what her name was? What did she tell you to call?
No, Joanne. And that's, actually, I was the initial person who called her Joanne by mistake. I think. I thought, I kind of forgot what the card said. I didn't have a card. I said Joanne. She said yes.
Okay, so that's Joanne, Virgil, Elijah, and Sue. No reason to believe that any of these names are anyone's actual names, right?
I don't know, I didn't ask her for identification.
Well, I'm just saying that
I
trying to
didn't
clarify that it makes no sense for us to expend a ton of people to go out and look for Sue, last name unknown, somewhere in Michigan, because she could have been there.
Right.
There's no sense to go out and look at every Joanne Taylor in the country because that wasn't really her name.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I mean,
That's all, I'm just trying to make sure it's what
Yeah, I
makes
mean,
sense to
yeah,
spend time and
it's-
energy on, and that doesn't make sense.
or, yeah.
And the second time they come, how do they come? How do they get there?
There was a van, and then there was another silver, either silver white or white, I don't know, it was a light color.
So they all came in one vehicle?
Yes. It was light, I don't know what the heck you call it, the cars are getting kind of weird now.
So they're all adults, right?
Yes.
The kids, to my knowledge, they never mentioned that they met a group of people that came over to visit. Would there be a reason why they wouldn't have mentioned it?
I don't know.
Okay. So that was on the 10th? When else did they come?
Yeah, it was on the 10th there.
Okay.
And then, they came and they brought the kids with them. That's why I was thinking, no, there's not going to be, they're not out to get my kids.
How many kids did they bring?
Just to,
And who lived it?
all of the kids.
All four?
Yeah,
So 6 people?
plus 2 kids.
One vehicle again? Van?
Yeah.
So 6 people at the house. Did anybody else see or hear anything? Because again, the kids never mentioned this to anybody that I've talked to. So I'm trying to find stuff that, the neighbors didn't see a car, nobody saw them over.
I don't know why Mike didn't see the cars, on the tent, and,
Like your next door neighbor?
yeah,
Yeah.
in front of my house. It wasn't in my driveway, it was in front of my house.
All right, so had that meeting, how long were they there? Just for the day on the 19th?
your kid?
5 houses down. There's Beckett and Seamus. Not really, double check. I remember they came down during this time, but I don't know if they were there with the other kids that all alternated back and forth.
And what time of the day is this on the 19th? Does it come, do you know?
It was in the afternoon after lunch.
So it's light out, right?
Yes.
And your kids are home too?
And your mom told me that, Joanne had met Tanya. Do you know when that was?
On the internet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, not in person, over the internet. Actually, that's during 10th November.
Did you have marking on there just the dates that they visited? Just put AZ or something. Sometime the first week, you can put a question mark next to that one. And then 10 to 19 according to you. I'm trying to put days in there.
Yeah.
So put a question mark on that one, because we're not sure about that one.
Are you certain of those other two?
The easiest, the best way, you have the notes from my computer.
I'm sure I do somewhere, but I don't.
The first meeting that we had, it's either the first or second meeting that we had, is when Joanne made the campaign law. And that should be documented as a hard date.
November 6th.
November 6th.
On Saturday.
Okay. That must have been for sure.
Okay. So which one was the mom visit? So she made this,
This was the first time she came over my house. Set that up, and they interviewed me. Let's see here. Boys were here. Boys were at my house. November 6th. Boys should have been at my house.
her family says that they were not. And I'm just throwing it out there because there's some text messages that show back and forth between the two of you that indicate that no.
I hadn't done this day and this day. So I mean, this was Tanya's week. This was my weekend. This is Tanya's weekend. This is my weekend. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And I had it at
So Joanne and Virgil were both there, right?
yes.
And they're how
What's that?
This was late night, it was evening. I know they were there for a while.
long? When you talk evening, what's evening to you?
5, 6.
Is it dark out or what?
It was getting dusty.
Or good account of it?
No, yeah,
Yeah, it was getting dark.
and they were there a while.
Yeah.
Now, when you went up, I'm sorry to back up again, but when you went up to visit them in Angola and Jackson, were you in your truck or in your personal car? Did you go just to see them, or was it just swing by while you were in your truck?
One of them, the one that didn't go was my truck.
Okay.
I was in my truck.
Did you have your laptop with you? Did you travel with it? Did you have your phone with you?
personal?
Yeah,
phone or
personal
phone?
phone.
Yeah, well, Tanya had, Tanya and I had a shared plan. Have a phone.
Okay. And the same with Jackson, if you were in your car, right? And would you travel with your laptop for that or no? But you didn't have your cell phone?
Yeah.
And it was the shared phone that you had with Dana?
No, I can't remember when, November, I don't know when I got my new phone. That's the thing, I don't know when I got my new phone. I didn't keep these dates around because,
So would you? Yeah. You didn't have your cell phone with you. And the phone that you had most recently, that was the newest phone that you swapped out to?
yeah, that was my new phone.
Do you know what phone number that was?
Oh, you're talking about the one that I used to communicate with them?
No, your regular old phone.
My phone? Five, six, seven.
576? 567.
First note is 567 239. It was Brian phone. 567 239 2072.
So that's possible.
That was my phone.
Ready?
That was my phone.
Okay, so November 6th, you had the kids with you. Fast forward. The kids were there, Joanne was there, Virgil. She may have a cafe on account.
Yeah, because that was going to be used as an interview tape.
So if you would just put the, or on for internet stuff, because she was on your internet on Saturday. And then they came down again on the 10th, and again on the
Before you go to
13th.
that one, when she set up this cafe, that was so that they could interview your Tanya, is that right?
Yeah.
And I think you told me, do you know whether Tanya ever responded? It was like a questionnaire or something, is that what it was?
No, it was just I think they were just trying to talk to her.
Okay, and do you know whether she ever responded back to them?
I don't think so. I don't know.
Okay,
I don't know.
all right, that's all.
Okay. And then they came back
Yeah.
on the drive. So 3 days later, they came back
Came back.
on the 10th. Or not?
Yeah, I don't know. All the dates are on my computer. All the dates are on my computer. So, if I don't know the dates are wrong,
How are they on your computer?
because when they would come over, they'd use my computer to check cafe mode. And there was times I checked it too, because it was just on there. I never responded to anything. I never saw any responses. There was one response. Tanya asked, "Who is this?" And that's when we made the backstory about me doing all those sort of stuff.
So when they would come and use the internet or come to your house, did they ever interact with anyone else? Did they ever speak to any of your neighbors? Did you ever see any other kids? Did any of your
Don't make it.
coworkers?
I think she could bring Seamus and Bethany were over there during the visit, playing with the kids in the backyard.
But never saw the adults?
Yeah. They never came, they didn't come into the house, but, then I don't know if they were playing before they came or after they came, I don't know.
Okay. So they came on the 19th?
Yeah, and I don't, normally when I have company, I don't go over to my neighbor's house and say, hey, I'd like to meet somebody,
So on the 19th, they left at night or daytime? When were they there?
This one, I believe was more during the day.
Okay.
made it such a necessity.
Okay, so they would, when they would come down, did they call ahead to tell you that they were coming?
Yeah.
Or they would just show up at your house?
No, they, I would just call them on their phone and we would,
Okay, where are all these phones now?
they took the phone, I had different phone every visit, usually, they try to visit. And I get new phone, I was supposed to get a new phone on the 1st of December, but we didn't get that far. I give them the phone on the 25th. I give them their phone.
Okay. But I'd like to just start on the 19th, to really go through almost, everything that you remember doing. So the 20th, Andrew's birthday, what did you guys do? They stayed over Friday night, right? You took up the kids, they talked to Virgil and Joanne.
Virgil, Joanne, Sue. Sue was supposed to be like some kind of teacher. She was the one who was going to teach, teach them about what they do, where they're going to be, and all that stuff. So, but transition from electronics to no electronics. That thing. Yeah, 20, what did we do?
Andrew's birthday?
Yeah. We just chilled out.
Cake.
Yeah. We had the cake. We had all three of them. His was the wife.
Okay.
Yep, we made a cake.
What time did you eat the cake? Do you remember? The lunch cake, dinner cake?
No, it was dinner. It was after.
Okay. What time about to eat dinner?
6-ish. 6-ish, something like that.
You ever go on the computer that day?
I was on the computer a lot.
Do you remember doing an hour to 2 hours worth of searches on how to break necks with your hands? Do you know what that was really?
Yeah, okay, yeah. Because, we were, watching movies, kid stuff. How they do that, can you really do that? And it was during one of their visits there, they watch these movies, they start doing their karate chopping or something.
And then at what point over that weekend, and what were the circumstances surrounding the kids finding out about Tina's sex offender status?
That happened on, the 20th.
What happened?
I was talking to Joanne.
Was it before or after dinner?
After.
How are you talking to Joanne?
On her cell phone.
Okay. What did you say to the kids then?
Well, they were, I told them that. I told them, what their mom did. I told them it was a long time ago, and I told them that, she was different.
The kids told their school counselor later in the next week, I guess, that you'd show them some paperwork about the sex offender. Okay, so they never mentioned a phone call or any visitors.
And it was, on the 20th, we got
learning about it's traumatic for kids to learn something like that at that age. They remembered that, but they did not recollect anyone coming to visit, and they didn't recollect learning it through overhearing on a telephone call, but rather just through a conversation with you. Is there any reason you think that they would not remember the phone call? Did they all overhear the phone call?
Yeah, I think it was just Alex, and I think Jan was in there too, but Andrew was taking, playing, video game, using the computer.
Anything else happened over that weekend of any interest?
I went to talk to her mom about, I approached Danny's mom on the 21st, see about talking to her about, what was said, because, we didn't want the boys to know about it, and found out about it.
Okay, there's a fight about that. Was that on the 21st or the 22nd?
That was the 22nd. The 21st is when I approached Danny's mom at church, and just said, to see if I could approach it, because they're jerks to me for the longest time. So, as far as whatever counseling, where's all this counseling stuff coming from that you hear?
We've interviewed everyone we can possibly imagine who had any contact with your kids during this entire month to see if anyone can verify just some of the information. We're just trying to confirm, the people who make the calls. So one of those conversations led to that.
And the 22nd, I was supposed to spend the night over at Tammy's house. Is that true? I don't know. She might tell you something different. But that's what was supposed to have happened.
Okay. Then you have to fight and didn't stay over that?
Yeah, because Andrew told her about her offense 12 years ago. And then we talked about it. I was trying to use their rights. So,
All right. And then when's the next time that you talked to Tanya or the kids?
Wednesday.
On the 24th?
Yeah, because I was supposed to have them in the morning all day. But because Tanya got upset with me on the 22nd, she informed me on the 23rd that she would change her mind and she was not giving me the boys. I could pick them up from her mom's house at 3 o'clock as if they were at school.
So you talked to her on the 23rd? Okay. That's when you found out you weren't getting them till later?
Yeah, she told me, well, she had that, I don't know if she texted me or if it was a phone conversation.
When did your water get turned off that week?
I don't know, DHS would know that better. I know.
Who would know?
DHS, they're the ones who paid for it. I was going through all of it, I was trying to get some assistance.
I think you had a meeting on Tuesday, the 23rd, does that make sense? For the, for assistance? But I don't know how that relates to whether you had your water on or off.
It was getting shut off that day.
Okay.
The day that I had my interview at DHS, the water was subject to turn off at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Did the water get shut off?
It got shut off, it got paid sometime that day, and they came right back and turned it on, so there was no break-in service.
So it wasn't turned on?
Well, it was there was a few hours break, but that was it. That was it.
Did you have to go to the neighbor's house to get some jugs of water?
I did,
But just on that day?
yes,
It wasn't on Thanksgiving?
because I didn't know that the water had been turned back on
Okay.
that morning before I went to my interview.
Right.
I know there was a time on that day, I turned on my spigot
a Facebook chat with somebody that morning, where you said you were gonna kill yourself? On Wednesday morning?
We talked about it.
You were talking about it then?
No. Tanya's destroying my life. She playing me for whatever. Playing with my emotions, giving me stuff and then taking it away. Using the kids against me just like she did on the Wednesday. I was giving up.
What did you do with the kids when you picked them up?
Went back and
Friend of the show, watch TV, play video games, have a regular evening?
yeah, we always had fun.
Alrighty, how was Thanksgiving then? What time do the kids go to bed normally?
Well, they didn't have any school this time. Usually, normally, when they have school and stuff, 8 o'clock. They are in bed by 8:05.
But on the 24th, because there's no school?
Yeah, there was no school and stuff. Which day we went, the 24th?
24th.
Okay.
The night you picked them up.
Like 10, 11 o'clock, something like that. So I don't know. But that might have been one of them days where we, sometimes Andrew would stay up till 2 o'clock in the morning,
Where did they sleep?
And they have their bedroom.
So, I haven't been to your house, so describe to me sort of, in bunk beds, that they sleep all in one bed, or
Yeah,
they...
you destroyed those. They used to be bunk beds. No, there was, this is the room.
Do they share a room?
Yeah.
Okay.
And there was a bed here, and then it had a air mattress here.
Okay.
And you took the bed.
So that's like a queen size or a full size or something?
Yeah. I could fit, all three of them could fit on this bed. And then there
It's
was
like a twin bed.
this
So
bed here.
which bed?
They swim.
Okay.
So
They swim?
Yeah. They start right in this one, and they could be over here, halfway climbing the walls over your leg, I mean, sometimes they look like pretzels, they're all like little worms. So,
So when they generally go to bed, does somebody get the twin bed, or is that not somebody's usual?
usually they all three of them right here, this bed, it's been like that. Ever since there was three of them.
Generally three in big beds?
Yeah, and then, there would be someone, I'd put one of them in here, and then, they gravitate over to, all three up there. We have another bedroom over here that, nobody wanted to sleep there.
Are they heavy sleepers, light sleepers,
Heavy,
all three?
yeah.
They usually get up about the same time to roll through and start messing around and getting up?
No, I think Andrew gets up. For the most part, he would get up a little bit earlier.
He wouldn't wake the others up, he'd just wander around?
Yeah, he'd get up, he'd hear me or whatever, and then he'd get up and follow me down.
So what happens on Thanksgiving? Everybody wakes up?
And Katie pulled another one of her stuff, like she did on Tuesday. She's threatening not letting her have the kids.
She said she wanted the kids back?
Yeah. Well, she didn't say she wanted the kids back. What she said was, I got a piece of paper from the courts that says you're not supposed to have one on Thursdays. I want to know if you guys are having Thanksgiving, because if not, I'm taking the kids with me to my sister's. And for the last month, I've had the kids every other Wednesday, Thursday. On the weekends that Tanya has them, I get them Thursday overnight.
And so you guys have a fight about who's getting the kids?
And I told her, I said, yes, we have Thanksgiving.
Okay. Did you talk to anybody that day?
I think one of Richard.
Oh, alright. Did he talk to the kids, like, did he come over, did you guys have Thanksgiving?
No, I asked him what he was doing Thanksgiving. He said nothing because I guess I had to work, so. We were gonna go buy Lisa's, but they were gonna do something else, or Lisa was doing something else, but Tim was gonna be there with his family. But real close to them, so I mean Thanksgiving.
Okay.
I mean Thanksgiving dinner right there at my house.
And you talked to your mom on the phone that day? Don't remember. Kids played outside, kind of regular day. You and Tanya had more of a fight through the day.
Well, yeah, but it's the same, that's the crap that she was doing. She used these kids against, she'd take these kids and use her authority,
Sorry, guys, Zoom timed out.
Yeah.
Oh, no problem.
You approach her.
You are in the meeting now.
Sorry, Your Honor, looks like I lost the connection. I'm gonna try to.
Tell me about that. How did you schedule that ahead of time? When did you call and say?
This one was different. The 24th, it was in, because that's what kids spent the night here at our house. And then the boys spent the night over at their house. That's how that worked.
Oh, wait, we're going back to the 24th. When you said you had a regular evening, and all of a sudden your regular evening has more people at it. What did you do?
Well, that's because that's.
So you picked up the kids at 3.
All right, let's have a private. Okay. I don't like that. That's fine.
That's the end of that one, right?
That's the end of that.
Okay.
Do we need a little technical assistance?
To get the video right, perhaps.
Your Honor, I've watched these. Can I run to the bathroom real quick? I don't want to hold anything up, but I'll be real brief. You know.
Take all the time you need.
Thanks.
Need my assistance.
They have a glitch. And you're the best glitch fixer I know.
Hey.
Oh,
You just needed my presence.
all you have to do is threaten. Oh, now you screwed it all up.
Did it disappear again?
All right, hold on, let me try it one more time.
He's gonna pause.
Sorry, I don't read my text. What he's a little upset about is that when you asked him the question about it, I'm not sure sounds like you're accusing him of lying or something. You know,
No, we're just trying to.
The biggest thing about everything,
Whoa. And I told him you're not, okay? He just remembered stuff and it's getting down towards the end. And I told him just to tell you what happened on the 24th and the 25th. But just the way you put it, well, now we're gonna say this, he sounds accusatory. And I told him, don't panic about that kind of stuff.
No, we're just trying to make sure that we have everything right. So what we took out was the fact that it's a regular evening. And now we're gonna talk about what happened after you picked up the kids.
regular.
Start on the 24th.
You know, I don't,
Well, for
I
example,
don't understand what, you know, I mean, it is regular even, and we have fun. We do all kinds of things all the time.
well, for example, did you know they were coming? And if so, how?
I'm talking about
24th, yes. Right. When you picked up the kids, and there were visitors at home,
Yeah.
did you call them or set it up?
No, we set it up on the 19th here. I always do,
At one at the
yeah,
next one?
it was, from this initial interview, it was always gonna try to be with the boys' club. It was always gonna be with the boys. So I knew it was either gonna be always on Wednesday or on this weekend. You know, that's how it's been. So, I forgot about all this because I forgot, we're getting close to the time.
Yeah.
You know, we're, all of a sudden, they're supposed to be back here.
Okay, but we're skipping ahead, we're trying to get in order.
So what you're saying is on this date is one.
They said we'll come back Wednesday.
Okay, that's.
Come back Wednesday.
So Wednesday at 3 o'clock, you go to pick up the kids. When did the gang come over and who was there?
Yeah, I don't know, 5 o'clock, 4 or 5 o'clock.
Okay.
We had a late dinner because they were there, they didn't want to eat.
Now who's they? Joanne Virgil or Joanne Virgil?
From the,
From the time you met him at the truck stop, so did every one of these, was it always all 4 of them? Or was it
all the visits at my house, except for the first initial one, was all 4.
Okay.
All 4 people. Because they were, the boys got interviewed by.
All right, but we're backing up again. We're on the 24th right now. So 4 or 5 o'clock, they show up. Everybody's there. You eat, they don't eat.
Yeah, well, we didn't eat. We had a late thing, but that's beside the point.
Okay, so the kids go to bed.
The point is that during this, boys wanted the kids to spend the night. They did.
So it's not all 4, 4 plus children.
Yeah, well, yeah.
So it's 6. Right? I'm just trying to get the numbers right so we know what's going on. Okay, so now we're going to go over the going to bed thing again because we have more kids to deal with. So when 5 kids went to bed, where did everybody go to sleep?
They all went upstairs in the bedroom.
Okay?
They're all there.
And the adults stayed too? So the adults left the kids with you? Okay. So where did they go? Why did they leave?
Probably because they didn't want to spend the night with you. I think they were Sue and Elijah.
Sue and Elijah are a couple? Or they just had kids together?
You're asking me to speculate. Don't know. I just back up.
So these kids,
I just know they had kids.
so the first time the kids came over was when? The 19th, right? So whose kids were they? Sue and Elijah or Joanne?
I'm pretty sure they were students. Pretty sure they were students.
How old were they and what were they?
They were 6 and 7 years old.
Boys, girls?
Boy and girl.
Okay, so that's the same boy and girl that stayed over on the 24th?
Yes.
Do you know names or anything? you were telling them about Joanne Taylor, who had the kids.
Yeah.
So that's not correct. You don't know of
That's,
her.
I mean, that's what I'm telling you now. That's what I just told you.
Okay, so this is the correct
You know,
one.
so, I mean, that's what I, you know, and I did,
Can you describe Joanne?
yes, 5'5", 5'6", something like that. Oldest kind of looking.
She's what?
Oldest.
Oldish? Old
Yeah.
like me or old like old?
No, you don't look too old. No, I mean,
Old is relative. How old would you guess?
in your 40s.
Old like me?
Well, I was 44 years old, so.
What's King
But she looked older.
Okay. An old 40.
She looked like, you don't have the wrinkles that, you know, some other people.
Keep her big head.
Go on. I'm trying to get at.
She white? Is everybody here white?
Yeah, she was white.
Elijah Sue.
Let's just put it this way, her hair looked younger than her face did.
So she dyed her hair?
So, I mean, that's just what it looked like. If people ask me, she had gray hair, no, I didn't see no gray hair. You know, it just,
What color is her hair?
like dark brown. I'm curious what that highlights.
So we paid for it. Fat.
I did my eyes. I don't know why. So, pretty safe. No, she wasn't fat. You'd say about 130, you say, oh, that's for a woman, that's fat. You know?
That's all your opinion on it.
You know, I don't know. I don't know what's fat. She looks like 130 pounds, 140 pounds, something like that.
Well, what I'm getting at with that one is that you described her earlier to the FBI as being fat, 200 pounds plus. So, you know, if we're out looking for a person whose name is not really Joanne Taylor, how would we know what she looks like?
No. She was 130, 140 pounds.
How's she dressed? Did you ever communicate with her by email? Because your mom gave me the email address. Did you give her mom? Your mom. Your mom gave me the email address. I don't know if you was giving her or Joanne. Did you ever actually communicate with her by email?
That was a reason for that.
Okay.
Did you have it?
Yes. The email?
Yeah.
Joanne_Taylor?
Yeah.
Because you told a couple of different people that you communicated with her solely by email.
And this,
So never by email, never by your cell phone.
You said there was a reason for that, what was the reason?
on the December 1st or whatever, when my parents would get here, they were gonna meet my parents and stuff. But, that was for, if we decided to do it, then I would send a message.
To that email?
So that was supposed to be a valid email?
Supposed to be.
But that email has only ever been accessed at your house. Or at your house, used at your house, never accessed from any other place, ever.
That's, because I never.
You never communicated with her by email.
No, I never decided to go through with, any of this, because I would wait and talk to my mom and dad, let them meet my mom and dad, and
So who set up the email?
I did,
what the problem is, just from an investigative point of view, is that all roads lead back to your laptop. You know, we're trying to make these people real, and every time we come up with an email or a telephone or a contact, it all comes back to ashes in the glove box or.
I kind of told you about this. Got a person, okay? You got email, got phone, you got a contact, right? You got me with a laptop. Cafe logo, and yeah, right? Everything done from here was done over here, right?
That makes sense.
That's your turn.
I'm lost for you. Okay, we're all lost. Pretend like we're kids.
All right. We set up Cafe Bob,
Right.
right? Joanne sets up Cafe Bob at my house.
Yeah, we're over on B, yeah.
At my house, at my house,
Right.
with my laptop,
Right.
right?
So far, okay. Yeah.
Right. And my phone has her email address that we did later.
Right.
But during that Cafe Bob, we used my email address
That's Lynn, right.
to,
Activate the account.
yeah,
Yeah.
take it just because
Right.
I didn't change it up.
Right.
And then when they came back, we made a Yahoo account
Right.
on my computer.
Right.
Okay. So now when things get, all of this stuff goes haywire on the 26th. Where do all the roads go? Exactly like you said, right here.
Right.
Okay. What happens to A? And A,
But what's the point of having a Cafe Mom account at your house?
it was, Cafe Bob was happy for 10. Because they just couldn't go over to Candy's house and say, hey, we're just thinking about having your kids go into our foster program because you're molesting. We want to talk to you about it.
Let's keep going through the timeline so that we can get through the end of that.
You know? But while you guys are focused on me,
No, we're trying to do is find
then
points that can
they can
corroborate.
go.
No, we're trying to get to that because we're trying to find points that can be corroborated. We're trying to find people that saw you or places where you were where you could have been seen. So, let's see, now we're on Thanksgiving. You made Thanksgiving dinner. What happens then? They're still there. You wake up. You have 6 kids in your house. What do you do? 5. Yeah. Got me 3 and 2. That was not a trick. Okay, so you wake up, you have 5 kids at your house.
Do breakfast, good old pancakes. Because I don't get up with pancakes.
Okay.
They come back. Fertile. Yeah, they come back.
What time?
It was in the morning, 9, 2 o'clock, something like that. And the kids, they left, they said they were gonna come back.
What did they say they were coming back for?
Just come back. I don't know.
So you think they're coming back just for a visit?
Yeah.
Okay.
It gave us time during Thanksgiving for family time.
And they give you another truck phone at this point, or you still got your old one from the 19th?
No, I gave them my phone back on that day.
On Thanksgiving morning?
No, on the night.
It was dinner, they came back.
The kids go outside, and here's something that we can confirm. Your kids go outside and they play on the roof of their playhouse, and they were seen by 3 different neighbors.
Yeah.
This is something good. However, they didn't see any of the other kids. They only saw yours.
Well,
The day before and the day of. About 3 p.m.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, they were. I wonder if that's when somewhere one of these days, Seamus and Breckenridge.
Well, no, dropped it, Shane and Brooke, and he does. In the meantime, we're on Thanksgiving, so your kids are outside, they're seen by the neighbors see your van in the driveway all day, they don't see any other car come or go. Continuation of flights to Tanya, then what happens?
Yeah.
And like I said, we're not trying to minimize the fights with Tanya, we want to get into that and discuss all of that in great detail, but we want to do that second. First thing we want to do is figure out the timeline for the kids, how to contact them, if you have any means on that, that kind of thing. So I'm not trying to intentionally gloss over what happened with Tanya, but we need to just focus on the timeline of the kids.
Yeah.
So,
I understand.
3 p.m. they're outside, they're seen by everyone in the neighborhood playing.
I don't know I can't remember what time they sued on it. Came back, but the
What
boys.
time did you have dinner? What football game was on?
I don't know, I don't watch football. I don't have TV either.
You don't have TV?
I'm not American. No, we did good pay bills, okay? Because we would watch movies. We were watching,
Figure out what time it was.
exactly.
So, it was darker light when they came over. Kids were outside at 3,
It was dark.
room back in dark, so after dark.
After 6.
Who comes over? The whole gang again?
4 dollars.
Okay. Describe everything in minute detail from the moment they arrive at the door. Who's talking?
Sue talked a lot to the kids. That's what the kids voiced. They wanted to see the kid again. And
So where are their kids if both parents come to visit you? I get a last question. All right, so 4 adults show up. They talk to your kids.
babysitter. You want an answer? A babysitter.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, no, that's a good answer.
You know, I do not. I don't know.
And that's a good answer. All right, Sue's talking to the kids. Anybody talk to you?
Well, we just talking.
Okay. So you put the kids to bed?
No. And the boys, like I say, was voiced that they wanted to spend the night with Alex and Bert. So, Sue said it was okay, but it was okay with me. Well, tit for tat.
Okay, so the kids are in their pajamas.
No, they got coats. They got new coats too. That day, that night, Sue brought them brand new coats. Black. I don't think they don't know what.
How about shoes?
Black college coats.
How about shoes?
I don't think they brought any shoes.
Did they wear shoes? All their shoes were at the house. They had no shoes.
No, they were in there. I did get them ready for
them to get their pajamas. And sent them with, blankets.
Toothbrushes,
No.
medicine, they take asthma medicine every day. So they didn't take their asthma medication?
They took it before they left.
But they need it in the morning too, so they didn't
No,
take it.
they always had it just one day, once a day.
So they were taking it at night when they were with you?
And, we always take it, we always took it at night.
And they're, the nebulizer?
We did need it, we did use it.
Okay, so they, for their overnight stay, they choose no toothbrush, no asthma medicine?
They had it all over my house. It was all there.
Right.
I don't understand what you did there.
So when they went to stay overnight with Sue,
Yeah.
they didn't bring any of this stuff with them?
No.
That's all I was getting at.
No.
Okay, so what time are they supposed to come back?
They were supposed to be back at 3 o'clock, dropped off the kids.
In their pajamas? With what shoes?
Do they know what came on?
They had clothes for everything.
So when they took the kids away, did you know that they were taking them for good? What time did, no, you know, what? So they just said they were going to take them?
You gotta understand, these people, trying to see if they were gonna fit into this life, if we so chose. So, that's the coats, they enjoyed it. So, no, we didn't,
Car seats.
they were my van.
The kids were in your van?
Did you just say, come in the car seat, the kids?
The car seats. Did
The car seats were in my van.
Okay, so your van stayed at your house, right?
Yes.
So
They had car seats.
they had car seats. What time did they leave?
Between 10 and 11 at night. I'd say more close to 10.
1, 2, 3, at least 3 neighbors saw your car in your driveway between 10 and 11:30 at night, but didn't see anybody else in the car. Were they in your driveway? In a van?
We let her there, you know, they were at my house.
So they were awake?
Who?
Your kids? When you put them in the car?
Yeah. Yeah, you give them a hug.
The little one, what kind of car seat is he going?
Just goes to,
Regular booster?
hold up, just regular old little boosters. Andrew did that. Andrew had been in one for quite a while, at least a year, I think.
So when they left on that night, they were alive, fine, they were giving you hugs, they were okay when they left with these people, right? Okay.
You said they were in car seats. Did you see car seats in the van, or did they tell you there was car seats in the van?
No, it was car seats in the
You
van.
went out and saw the van?
Yes, I put them in the van.
Okay, the van is in your driveway?
Huh?
And the van is in your driveway? And you put it in the van?
Yeah.
Not out on the street, that's somewhere else, it's in your driveway.
Yes.
Did you get a phone from them that night?
No, I turned my phone in to them that night.
So for the first time, you have no way of contacting them while they take your kids? Because every other time they gave you a phone.
I would get, no, that's not, I would get different phones. They would give me different phones. To tell you my phone, I was given my phone on Wednesday, December 1st.
So one of the police officers that you got a track phone on Thursday night from the organization when they took the kids, and that you can contact the organization through codes, but only after you approve the custody. Is that true?
At times. And I didn't get a phone from them here.
Wait, let me break it down then, just a little snippet. Did you get a track phone Thursday night from the organization when they took the kids?
No, I gave one back to them.
Can you contact the organization through code?
Yes.
How do you do that?
The papers.
Where did you go after you dropped the kids off? Or the kids in the van?
As far as I know, I stayed home. The FBI says I left somewhere. I don't remember leaving anywhere.
How about when you ended up dropping off the kids' stuff at Lisa's?
I have no idea on Friday.
Right.
Yes, I remember that, but I do not remember it going anywhere 5:30, 20 miles southwest of my house.
You just don't remember?
No, I don't, from when they left.
You can appreciate from our standpoint that it's concerning to us that you give your kids to people that you don't know, that you don't have a telephone number for, that you haven't done any research into, that you don't know how to contact. We know that you went somewhere, but you don't remember where.
So, and I thought I did know, because I talked to them.
You don't know their real names. You're not confident that the one person you know her last name, that that's actually her name. You didn't do any Google searches on that organization.
Well, do you look to see who's got the best heroin product on the internet?
But I don't buy heroin. I spend a lot of time looking up where to put my dog for the weekend. I spend time researching what hotel I'm going to stay in.
Yeah, but that's all legal. This was just an option because the system failed. That's it.
But did you contact any references? Anybody else that had ever used to them? Do you know anyone else who ever
because this wasn't going to be, hey, this is the day it's going to happen.
Do you know anyone else who's ever done this kind of thing? Successfully or unsuccessfully?
Another person, Eve.
Yeah, I talked to you about that today, but you said that you didn't talk to Eve.
No, as far as Eve, I know she was doing something or other, but I didn't know the details of it.
It wasn't the same group, or you didn't get any information from Eve.
It wasn't this kind. It had been the same group, but at least I don't think so.
So what assurances did you get from them that your kids would be okay, or that your kids would get their medication?
Because they wouldn't need it until they got home one day.
How about the shoes? Or the toothbrushes?
It was good to get, because,
The almond shoes toothbrush?
yeah, but I wasn't going to have them for all of this time. For all this time, I wasn't going to have them until here.
Right, but weren't you worried about,
Them not brushing their teeth in the
well,
morning?
and just when they don't come up
I
and
wasn't.
saying that these people that she doesn't know, don't think her flags would start to go up and go, who are these people? She put plates down, or?
That's why Cafe Mom was instilled to try to get contact with Tanya and
Right, but I'm saying you,
talk to Tanya.
you're telling us that they were gonna drop the kids off at Tanya's, right? So they must have known where she lived.
You can see Tampa's house at my house.
Right, yeah, I'm aware of that, but then now they're being seen by Tanya. Wasn't that a concern in there? and now they're covered with some of them?
I don't know, I don't think so. I don't know. I got it, you know, and it's a trust issue. You know. But that's what, that's, I didn't, their toothbrushes, their medication, I don't even know why. Nebulizer was only if they needed it, as needed. During this time, they didn't need it. I didn't even have it on the 19th.
So, the last time you saw your kids or this group was 11 o'clock-ish on Thanksgiving night.
Yeah, 10 to 11.
Who sent the email from your house using the Cafe Mom account? Friday.
Friday morning,
Mm-hmm.
I guess. It was written.
At 1 o'clock in the morning on Friday. 2 o'clock. Yeah.
There was one that I never said.
It was written at 1:46 in the morning at your house.
What is it?
It's the Cafe Mom email that you sent from Joanne to Tanya. 1:40 in the morning. 7:02 it was sent. In between those two times was when your car was out driving around.
I know that was written before, and I had sent it, and I was supposed to send it at 7 o'clock.
What was the email say?
I don't know what it said.
It's a very long email about what a terrible mother Tammy is, and about how she's never going to see the kids again, and you'll never have them to love their kids again. Yeah, if you sent it, you probably should have read it first.
I didn't remember that.
It was sent at 7 in the morning for your house.
Because I remember Tanya saying something about a few days. And I said, well, you guys meet a few hours.
I don't know what that means.
Tanya, I don't know if it was an email or a phone conversation, or a text message, or a phone conversation, but she asked me where she needed to pick up the kids.
When did you get code for this? I find that email.
Because Joanne said herself, said, it's going to be, that she's going to take the kids for a few days. And I told her, no, you mean a few hours. About a few days, but a few hours.
So in order for you to communicate through the media or newspapers, what does that mean?
And what did they tell you about contacting them?
I wanted to get a message directly to, like, the boys. It's just put the word Saranac before I want to say something. If I need word what? Saranac.
Like Karnak the Magnificent?
Oh, Sarah.
Saranac.
Saranac, so city of Michigan.
Saranac or Saranac?
I've heard Sanilac. What's
Sarah.
spell it?
S-A-R. I hadn't understood it all either, because like I said, everything wasn't always bad. I would say, I was supposed to say Traverse City. I had a message for Traverse City. You know what Traverse City is?
Yep, and that would, you would say Traverse City for what reason?
And then what would happen?
That would just, cause if somebody out there was listening, then they would know that message would be for them to do something.
So from jail, you'd have to have a press conference at which you would say Traverse City?
I would say Traverse City.
But if they take your kids, they know that you're gonna get in trouble. How could you possibly have a press conference? They don't have access to the press.
My parents do.
Why haven't your parents been throwing this on every TV camera yelling Traverse City?
Because they didn't know anything about this. And even if, I still don't even know if it would even work for them.
Yeah,
I don't know. I told my lawyer that I wanted to talk to the press or, just send out a letter. But,
Do they tell you anything else you're supposed to say?
no. Everything was child books, stories. I told him something about some of it. It was all incomplete to me as well.
so at this point, you don't really know what any of the codes are against this back.
I just know what I can say.
So if you say Saranac, what happens?
That would just be for the kids. That's all it is. That was just to get a message to the kids that
So if you say Saranac, come back, what happens?
that's just a message thing to the kids. If I wanted to talk, I'd say, hey, Saranac, I love you, or something like that would be for the boy, and that would be passed on to the boy. Traverse City.
Do you have any way of getting them back at this point?
I don't even know where they are.
Tell them about the boys' books, kids' books.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to tell the Goldilocks. Goldilocks is you bad people. Or the bad people, the opposite of, what they were, the authorities. The authorities would be Goldilocks. If I told them Goldilocks is lurking, that means you guys are listening to my phone conversations. That means you guys are putting me up to doing something. Tell them Goldilocks is away. Just be out. I can tell them.
So why wouldn't you have told your dad any of that to get the kids back?
Because everything's wired and stuff like that. He said, let's do this one. Let's talk to people. So,
His dad did tell me that too. He said,
I think you just feel smart.
his dad told me today that he was telling him stuff over the phone, and he said, don't, everybody's listening to that, and he said he did encourage him to talk with you guys and tell you guys these things. But he did tell me earlier this morning, when he talked to him, he stopped him from saying too much over the phone.
my biggest concern,
Tell him the rest of the things that, whether it's true or not, and find out. You said something about mom has baby bears or something.
yeah, that's how I get, that to know that I don't have, custody, mama bear's got, baby bear exclusively.
What was the thing that you were supposed to say if they were gonna bring them back?
Well, if they were taking the kids to protect them from mom, why would they bring them back?
They would bring me back if you had that Tanya either incarcerated or the kids are.
But like I said, that's general practice. They're always protected like that, especially now that we're all involved. I mean,
This is
Now it's getting
what are you supposed to say if they're gonna contact your parents to bring the kids back?
They're going to magic beats.
That's what he told me.
I didn't hear what was that.
It's about jacking the beats up. What was it supposed to be?
Well, why would you need all these codes for returning and communicating if you didn't think they were taking them?
It wasn't supposed to happen on that day. It was supposed to happen on another
After
day.
everything's gone.
It wasn't supposed to happen this day. He was thinking about doing, was gonna do it somewhere down the road. It wasn't supposed to happen on the,
I had you decided to do.
he was still in the. What are you supposed to say, and whether it's through the media or the newspaper or whatever,
Well, I'm gonna say because.
it's not like it's a press conference. If something got out in a newspaper, I think, maybe, I don't know if he's telling the truth. It may be a scam, these people are just kidnapping the kids, maybe he's not telling the truth. But the way it explains to me, it would go through like a newspaper. It doesn't have to be a press conference where he stands up and says this stuff. But what was the thing that you're supposed to say in order to, you told me that they would contact your parents down in Florida, is that right? To try to get the kids back, if they hear these words. What was it you're supposed to say? Say it again, they didn't hear.
Just tell them Jack bring the beats home, or no, something to that reference. There was no exact words, all he said was having the magic beats coming home.
That's what he told me almost over a week ago. And if you say that they're supposed to get in touch with your parents out in Florida, is that what you told me?
Just also.
Huh?
Yes.
And they told you that's the address that your parents had for 30 years.
So at this point, I'm very concerned about the organization shifting this because, they've kidnapped the kids, they've taken them against your will, against Tanya's will, and kept them and not returned them. I mean, there's a ton of different ways that you can return kids. Drop them off at a fire station, you drop them off at a police station, you leave them at a mall, a hospital. The organization is not following through on anything else. I have no reason to think that this would probably work. What I'd like to get is any kind of information, if you have any, that can corroborate any of this. Do you know anybody else who's used this? Anyone else who's seen them? Were you at any place that would be recorded? Any phone numbers?
That's why the only thing that I know is they got a video at the Chevron.
Okay. So long ago, we'll certainly take a peek.
Part of all their protection.
Okay, so what is this one? Traverse City is winter and they need a haven in the sunshine after the storm is over. What's that?
Because my dad's coming here by, tell you what it means. Winter Haven, Florida. Sunshine State, Florida.
Okay, but what does that mean? A poem about Florida?
After, no.
What does it mean?
Do you know what it means?
No,
That's how we get the boys back.
I thought it was Jack bring the magic bean.
Yes, but that's a location.
So
That's a location.
you say Jack bring the magic beans home.
That's, that would get them in contact
With your parents,
with my
right?
parents. She said that. After all the media, things died down, but there's less pressure and stuff.
But my question is, if you send that, how do we know that that's not telling the organization to kill them or harm them or dispose of them? Do you know that? I mean, that's what we worry about.
Because they'll hibernate till they graduate, and nobody will see them.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
What's that?
There's also,
You have to get a message to them, within 7 years, you can't get them back. And then
that they've been already looking at originally
their rules. That was their rules. Explain their rules to them. If I were to explain it, let me explain it to them. As long as Tanya had custody, or she was the potential to get the kids, there was going to be no contact. No contact with me, no contact with her, no contact with my parents. Nothing. Total blackout.
They must know at this point if that's done.
And it goes along with that message that I wrote.
Why didn't you share this message on Friday then? Like the day that they didn't get returned?
I was in the hospital.
Right.
Kind of moved.
Okay, now we have a small one, a short one?
No, that was the audio one. We're all done on playing this today.
The audio was like the 3-minute one, Judge, which just had audio. There was video, but I stipulated in passing because I couldn't get it over. But we heard them
Are
all.
we doing that audio?
We did already. It was the
did.
middle one.
Oh,
Yeah, it's a real short one.
It was only 1 minute long.
Yeah.
okay. I just thought we didn't have audio.
No.
We are at 20 minutes to 5. Is there a short witness?
No, we're done for today.
All right. All right, we will see you back here tomorrow morning at 10:30. We could do a little earlier in the day if the two of you are not involved on the 3rd floor.
We are not involved in the third floor, but we
We
are.
have to get witnesses here. We've got our subpoenas out for 10:30. We can very well try, but I can't guarantee we can have anybody here. And how early are you talking?
Well, I would think that we could start around 10-ish. This media can be here a little bit early. We don't need to make life miserable for anyone, but, I wanna give everybody as much time to set up as we can. We have arraignments tomorrow. And, we have something
Yeah.
in the afternoon that I think got put on our schedule in error at 1 o'clock.
We do have a couple calls scheduled at 1 o'clock in the conference, but I don't know if we happen.
All right, see you tomorrow morning around 10.
Thank
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
I got a couple Zooms, different counties, but I told them if this goes early, I'm gonna get somebody to come to free trials and crap like that. If they want to see our video. Just want to be clear.
Yes, please. Do you want to carry that from the carrier, please? Thank you.
I was in my office.
All rise, please.
I just mentioned something. Those are right there, like. Sorry.
investigator.